and welcome back to SellerApp. I'm Priya Mittal and I'm a product evangelist at SellerApp. Amazon currently is facing a lot of traffic from sellers, and you might wonder why. Well, now that we have a global pandemic, motor-to-brick sellers are facing a lot of problems because they're not getting a lot of foot traffic in their stores. So that's why they have decided to sell on Amazon. How great is that? For now that they're selling on Amazon, they have a lot of questions, especially from Amazon UK. I've heard that Amazon UK is a cheaper place and Amazon UK is easier than Amazon US, but is that true? That's why we have Prabhat Shah with us to answer those questions. Prabhat Shah is an e-commerce and digital market consultant who helps sellers who have been working on Amazon and eBay. He has 8 years of experience and he manages accounts as well as help businesses scale their business. Hi, Prabhat.
Yes. So, thanks for inviting me, Ria.
Okay. Welcome to SellerSpeak, Prabhat. So as I mentioned, people are really confused right now on how to sell on UK. I wouldn't say confused, more like excited to sell on Amazon UK. And you're the best person to talk to when it comes to Amazon UK. And I was wondering that a lot of sellers have been coming to us asking if UK is easier and if UK is, less competitive compared to Amazon US. And do you think that's true?
Right. Okay. So Amazon UK, we've got a lot of interest right now, like any other Amazon platform. With the current situation, there are lots of sellers going into Amazon UK, selling different kinds of products, but also obviously that's more or less led by the demand. What we have also seen in the past where a lot of categories, like for example, hygiene or groceries, which may not be of interest for buyers in the past. Now it's suddenly, people are going and buying anything and everything in regards to grocery or sanitizing products, which is an interesting space. And with regards to competitive space, when you compare with Amazon US, which is the largest marketplace, obviously it's a lot less competitive than the US side. So, so going in Amazon UK, and if you've not started, I think it's a good time to get things moving now.
So what kind of products do you suggest that sellers start with?
Right. I think with regards to Amazon itself, electronics is generally a very large category and not attractive. But there are other categories like, for example, cleaning category, which is sanitizing, which everybody's there now. But other popular categories like home DIY, that's a good category to be in. And currently toys category is doing really well. And anything to do with early learning for children, because everybody's home. And, these are really attractive categories to be in. With that in mind, saying alcohol category, right? So since we are a lot of people may not go to the pubs, even if it's open lately. So that category is again attractive there. So if you are any of these categories, it's a good place to be now. But saying that there are lots of other categories, whether it's DIY or home care. Now, any of these categories which are not seasonal, they are on demand throughout the year. It's a good category to be in. Again, if you are in a category which I've just not mentioned, doing the research on looking into what's selling well, it's fairly straightforward now with Amazon. So you can just trial a couple of lines and see where we go on that.
Yeah, that is so true. And SellerApp also has a tool called Product Research Tool that can help you identify what products are trending and what are not trending. And it will make your job so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that we're talking about selling on Amazon, the next question that comes to our mind is the cost. And sellers are always wondering how much is going to cost on sell on Amazon UK. So any associated platform costs that are associated to it, if you could just brief us on that quickly.
Yeah, so like in the US side, in the UK, we've got one account combined with UK and other countries like Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. So you pay £25 plus VAT a month, and you get access to all these marketplaces. And other costs associated are commissions. So we've got commission ranging from 15% plus VAT to going down to 7% for consumer electronics. 15% I said on an average, but if you look up jewelry category, that's 20%, and that's the highest one. But again, yeah, I know the cost may be the high for somebody who's selling on website or selling elsewhere. Yes, they look a lot higher commission, but what we need to look at is when you develop a website, the amount of investment you have, in Google Ads, and that's a time to develop that sales. It's a lot longer. Whereas with a platform, Amazon itself, where there is loyal customers there, people check out very quickly, you may start selling even on the same day. So we need to consider that sort of area as well if you're thinking a lot more on the cost.
Yeah, and when you start selling on Amazon, they ask you if you want to choose a casual plan or a professional plan, right? And
Yes.
I believe that some sellers have problem choosing professional plan because if their inventory is not selling, they do have to pay the cost that they are paying to Amazon to store the inventory. So do you have any doubts, or do you have any thoughts on that, how they can save the inventory costs, that they're keeping with Amazon on FBA?
That's okay. So with regards to FBA costs, yes, that is something we've not touched base. So FBA cost is pick and pack cost. So when you send this stock, and when you're new to selling on Amazon, you may not want to send a large quantity of inventory because you don't know what quantity is going to sell. So it's always good to test a smaller batch. But if you want to return the stock back to you, you can return it back, because if the product is not selling for 2-3 months, I think there is less chance that it will continue selling another month, unless it's say for example, very much seasonal products. So, and you've touched base on professional and plan and the individual plan. So there is an individual plan as well. If you have just started and thinking of not registering as a business, where you want to register as an individual plan, that's perfectly fine, where you wouldn't pay any monthly cost on that, but your selling cost, your commission, will be a lot higher than your professional plan. And also there's limitations, like for example, with individual, you can list less than 35 products, and you don't have bulk listing tools, you don't have access to FBA, whereas professional, you got access to all these tools plus advertising as well. So if you're really serious about it, it's a professional plan is a good way to start. And again, you can do a 3 months investment, £75. It's not a lot of money to plan about new business, right?
Yeah. So now that we're talking about UK, I wanted to bring up Brexit, nothing political.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know how Brexit has affected UK Amazon selling, and if it has affected UK Amazon selling.
Yes, so we have got latest notification from Amazon with regards to Brexit and how they are going to handle the stock. So if we are doing selling on Amazon UK and using Amazon FBA portal to send stock to Germany, France, and Italy, unfortunately not going to happen after the end of January next year. So what we call that European fulfillment network, that's not going to happen. That's going to happen. So the Amazon has already taken a proactive approach, actually, because the sellers who are selling well onto the Germany, France, or Italian platform, Amazon has been reaching out to them to go on to pan-European. So where we stock to the mainland Europe, and the stock stays there. So for sellers who's got stock in mainland Europe, nothing's going to change, because you're still going to say you can send the stock to mainland Europe.
Yeah.
It's revolve around the mainland Europe without any problems. So
Okay.
for some sellers like from the US, you would have already gone through the custom part anyway.
Yeah.
Even now you would be already going through that. So when the Brexit change happen end of January next year, there will be very less disruption because you are already going through that. The only thing we need to think about is splitting inventory between the UK and Europe.
Well, that's a sigh of relief, I would say, because Brexit has definitely given us a lot to think about, and there are so many uncertainties surrounding it. So thank you for clearing that up, Prabhat. And another question that I had for you was if any international seller, let's say there's a seller in India who wants to sell on Amazon UK and wants to save up on currency exchange rates, how can you do that? Or if a seller is selling in UK and he wants to sell it in EU, because Amazon charges a lot of fee for currency, right? And the banks also are very ruthless when it comes to currency exchange rates. So what do you suggest that people can do to save their money?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are lots of opportunity and options now than a few years back, but because we've got a lot of fintech companies who acts as a collection account, naming them TransferWise, Pioneer. They act on your behalf and they will give you the bank account they can give you dollar account, but also they can give you GBP accounts and the euro accounts. So you can use those collection accounts to lower your exchange risk. Yeah, rightly you've mentioned, Amazon does charge, higher fees in terms of exchange rates. So these tools will help you towards that.
And as an Amazon seller, when they're starting to sell on Amazon UK, they are usually confused between the models to choose. There's drop shipping, there's arbitrage model, and there's, what is the last one?
The private labeling.
Yeah, so there's drop shipping, there's private labeling, and there's arbitrage. And as a new Amazon seller, what model do you suggest is best suited for in current time?
Yeah, I think that's it all depends on our current situation, and that's very individual. So for a individual person who is new to selling, and say for example we do not have enough cash to invest on the stock, then a drop shipping is one option where you choose a good supplier. So you've got a good relationship with them, and then you list a product and you sell. So that's one way, but it's risky only if you are not aware of that dropshipper. If they are not dispatching things in time, that's going to
that is so true, because we have people in our community that had taken up drop shipping and they were like, okay, we have drop shipping, this is going to work, but then they forget that some items have really high return rate, such as clothing. So when you're dealing with returns, you cannot return it to your manufacturer, you have to keep the returns to yourself, and that's like a really big tedious process. And so I personally suggest, if you're taking up drop shipping, please be very, very careful of the product that you're trying to sell. And if you have any more doubts regarding drop shipping, I will link a video down below, and you can definitely review or go through it if you have any questions regarding drop shipping. So I want to talk about private labeling now. It seems to have been a trend recently, and everyone is doing what I believe is private labeling. So how is private labeling becoming a trend on Amazon?
Yeah, so a lot of these are driven by the tools as well. So like for example, for your app, when you do a research on a certain category, we can see the best sellers within that category. So rather than backing up by what we think, we are backing up by the data. So when the data shows certain product in for example, a baby category, baby food category, or certain types of babies are popular, and if it is a certain brand, so we then follow that brand, and if there is a trend that there is a regular demand on that, so we recreate that product again to the highest standard. Like what Aldi and Lidl here in the UK or Germany, for instance. So if you go, in the shop, the product quality is to the highest standard. The difference is not a a brand, but people still buy. And I think the whole Amazon platform have taken away that barrier now. So as long as the product is represented right, it is of good quality, it has got some good reviews, people will buy it. People will buy it. So, which is why we are seeing a lot of private label sellers, in various categories themselves, trying to reach out and create new brands continuously. And it's going to be a successful business model for sure for a lot of people.
Yeah, and so for private labeling, is it important for international sellers to, make sure that they are using products which are getting shipped to the host country or from host country to the delivering country, or do you advise them to set up another, market? Or if you could take me through the importing process from the host country to the seller country.
Sure. So there are a lot of steps involved in terms of importing. So if we take UK, for example, but I was saying that it's a process. Once you go through the process, it's very straightforward. So, for example, importing into the UK, you need a what they call URI number. So once you've got a URI number, so government can track who has imported that product. And at the same time, you need a tariff codes to import the products. And once you go through this process of importing, again, a lot of these things can be guided by the agents as well. So if you take support from any transfer agents, any courier service, they can guide you through that. So once you bring the stock in, and I suggest it's good to bring the stock in because you need to check the quality of product yourself. And that's an important part. Like, for example, if you're importing products in the grocery line or even baby related products or, products in the cosmetics area. So we want to see the product yourself so that you are confirming that the product is of higher standard quality.
Yeah, that is very important. You're right.
Absolutely. So because we are dealing with a consumer market, right? So if something doesn't go right, so you are affecting mass audience here. And also with that in mind, any products which we are importing, we need to keep in mind that they are also pass through all the regulations. So in Europe, we have CE mark, so they need to pass through that. And to be honest, a lot of the supplier, they have gone through that process already. Just make sure that has happened. And even one of the very popular category we see now, due to the recent outbreak, is supplement category. Anything to do with building
health
immunity.
And supplement.
Health and supplement. Anything to do with building immunity, that's really good. So, we do want to see that, our consumers do want to see that it's organic. In that case, to have organic certification. So, if you are importing, for example, from India, for example, and we see a lot of sales in ashwagandha or any other vitamin C related products, right? So, we are seeing that organic certification from India, and that gets accepted. So wherever you are certifying it, that's perfectly fine, but it needs to go through that process.
Certifying process. Yes, and I was wondering if the certifying process in US and UK are different, because I've noticed that most of UK sellers get banned because they're trying to ship cosmetics or they're trying to ship products from China or any other country which have substances which are illegal in the US. And that's why they get banned. So I was wondering if there's the same regulation system in UK as well.
Yeah, so I think it's a similar system. So it's not exactly the same, but if we are sending it to the US, we need to go through the regulatory process there. Same like in the UK and the Europe, we can go through the process again here to see if it is matching. If it is not, then we are causing issues for consumers, but secondly, also we are not following the rules, and that's going to ban the product itself, and it's not good for anyone, really.
And I remember you mentioned VAT right before, and VAT is something that is so confusing for some people, and how to save up on their VAT taxes. So I know that you can either set up an account there, like a bank account in another country if you want to save up on the VAT tax, or you can register your VAT account. I was wondering, what do you suggest people should do who are selling internationally, especially on Amazon UK?
Yes, so if we are registering Amazon into the Amazon UK as a non-UK resident, then if the stock is here, or same thing applies to any parts of the UK, any parts of the Europe. If the stock is there, if you are non-European, non-UK company, we've got to register VAT. In another case, if we are a UK company, then until we reach the 85k threshold, there is no VAT registrations. I think if we are in whatever the circumstance there is, we do need. I'm not a qualified tax advisor, so you do need to contact your situation and your tax advisor in this. But if you are selling into the UK as a non-UK company, get the VAT registered. That's the best thing to start with, because it will cause issues later on. If you are then setting up a UK company, that's fine. That may be the easiest solution, because then until you reach the threshold, you've got no need to register VAT. So,
I believe the amount is close to 85,000.
That's right, in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think individual situation is very different from one person to another. So we need to sort of go through what we want to achieve in the next 2 or 3 years, for instance. What sort of forecast in the sales we are doing, or is it just a temporary business? I don't think it would be, but as long as you've got some future growth in mind, your accents in VAT registering or company registering will play a key role here.
That is true. And we're coming to the most important and the most fun section of the talk now, which are the holidays. Everyone loves holidays. And I was wondering, because I do not know much about UK, and I was wondering what kind of holiday season do you have that will, like US has Black Friday, so people go like bonkers over that holiday, and people are just rushing to the market, blocking the doors. And hopefully UK does not have that kind of situation, but I was wondering if you have that kind of holiday.
Yeah, so with a lot of holidays in the UK, we match up with the US side. For example, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, now these are all popular time. But what we have seen in the last year, some of the retailers, I'm not saying Amazon, but some of the retailers have stepped back from offering Black Friday deals. But what's interesting now, and which is coming soon, is Amazon Prime Day. And it's Amazon-owned deals, and it's interesting because there's a bit more focus for Amazon sellers. It's not on the high street, it's for Amazon itself. So there is a bit more focus. And what we've seen last year is 24% year-on-year growth for Prime Day sales. So so I think it's time to get ready for the Prime Day sales. And if you're offering any vouchers and discounts, we need to get that started planning on that. And also, if you are selling as an Amazon vendor account, then Amazon will be offering you some sort of discounts and offers, prompting those discounts. I think you need to take that on.
Yeah, and it is very important for sellers to be aware of the Q4 part of the selling cycle, because this is the most important time that they can sell and get rid of the inventory that they have, because people do love buying presents on Christmas, or they love buying Christmas presents and Thanksgiving presents. So this is the right time for them to sell. And most of the sellers do miss this opportunity because they haven't planned ahead. So this is very, very important to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the time where everybody is looking for discounts, right? And if we are not offering any discounts, then the sales may not be to the level we want to be. So it's important that we participate in that period. But also, it's good to look into that period as a improving the ranking of the product, because if you sell more in the period, the product itself generates yes, additional revenue, but also it improves the ranking of the product. And once the ranking is improved, then the follow-on sale will be a lot more better.
I was wondering what kind of market trend is UK following right now? What are some market UK and EU trends that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, so I think things have changed a lot in the last few months, and I'm going back to talk the last few months because we have moved into a lot more cashless society than what used to be. There used to be limits on using cashless. Now, you can pay even 20p with a contactless now. So it's interesting that has moved on. And same with the online side. A lot of people didn't used to shop online because they didn't want to, or they found the system quite cumbersome or tricky or not trustworthy. Now it's changed. Certain demographic of people who didn't used to shop online, now they're shopping. Things like grocery. A lot of people didn't used to order online. Now the choices are limited, so people are doing it, and I think it will continue. For the likes of you can see likes of Ocado, where you can order lots of groceries through that, and you can see the demand has gone up, and that is a new trend we are seeing. And same thing going back to Amazon. If you are in a grocery category, get your products on there. Things like whole foods, even flour or any other seeds. All these whole food, the demand is growing itself, and you'll do well on that. And also,
so the whole food thing, the sellers are linked to, I think, grocery stores which are supplying them with groceries. Do these groceries also go through some certified checklist, or I was just wondering what that area is?
Sure. So with the groceries, if you meant to say gated category, it is a gated category because it's a food line. But it's not difficult to ungate, because as long as you've got a supplier's invoice, product images, and the labeling, there is requirements, EU labeling requirement, as long as the label shows who the manufacturer is, the address. Usually that's a normal thing to have in a product, and usually you get ungated on that. So it's fairly straightforward, and allow a couple of days for Amazon to go through the application process, and you'd get approved on that side. And other things in terms of changing trends, people are looking for some products which are a lot more sustainable.
Yes.
Yeah. So in terms of packaging, like we are seeing products which are plastic-free packaging. We are seeing products which are organic, biodegradable products. So these are the products, and it will continue to be in the demand because people have started.
It really makes me happy that Amazon, which goes through so much of packaging, is finally realizing that they need to go sustainable and eco-friendly. It makes me really happy that they're taking a step forward. Hopefully everyone else will follow. And the future of Amazon is something which fascinates me. Like a few months back, I didn't know that we could buy groceries online. I was so worried about wearing a mask and going to the grocery store, but Amazon was right there, and oh, we got you covered, dude. We'll give you the groceries. Don't worry about it. So what do you think the future of Amazon holds? What is there for us next? How can Amazon make our life more convenient?
I think there's a lot of local delivery. So I'm hearing that Amazon has done, you check the news if you can actually. I've seen the news saying Amazon is doing local delivery in London area for free delivery, which used to be at cost before. So it may be that we are going towards 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour delivery time.
Wow, that's fast.
Yes, so that's like getting delivery from the local stores and quick. So that's a interesting trend. I think when that gets, when that actually happens, that's interesting because it will be difficult for the high street grocery stores to sustain, because you can order toilet rolls within 2-3 hours, and people are already doing that anyway in certain areas, because you get the same day delivery from Amazon. So it's just that if Amazon can extend that to a lot more cities and also to everyone at a low cost or no cost way, and that's going to be challenging for lots of other sellers who are not on Amazon or who are not selling on Amazon.
Well, survival of the fittest is what I believe in. So you have to keep up with the times. So if everyone is going online, and if you want to sustain online, you have to go, you have to make your presence known online. And you might have few customers who might be loyal to you and visit your store very often. But again, in this pandemic, we cannot be sure about those things as well. So I believe that this is the end of our session. This is everything that a UK beginner seller must know before starting their business. And thank you so much, Prabhat, for giving us such great insight on the Amazon UK business. And I believe that you were the best person for this session, knowing your experience and your expertise. So thank you so much. And thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give us a thumbs up and leave all the doubts in the comment section below, and we will get right back to you. Please subscribe to SellerApp for more quality content, and we will see you later.